Good morning, evening, or afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to PSP, aka Pawn Shop Pistols. Today's video is actually a follow-up to my Zastava Part 1 video, which I'll link here as well as in the description. So if you'd like to see a full disassembly of this firearm, as well as some history about Zastava, go watch that video first, then come back to this one. So briefly, here's what happened in Part 1. The firearm functionally worked great. The safeties worked well, magazine felt good, no issues. But once I got to the range and I fired the first round, the magazine just popped right out. I discovered that I could just pull the magazine out with my finger without actually pressing the release button. So, see, just pull it out right there. No problems. Yeah, so had a few issues with that at the range. So I got one round through it in Part 1. So I went to my local gunsmith, showed them the issue, and he was pretty surprised. He hadn't actually heard of this issue with this model before. He took it apart, said all the safety features looked good. His guess was that it was just a bad magazine. So he suggested that I either order a new one or I try filing this down on the inside, which is what I tried first. And as you just saw, it still pulls out. So it's this magazine's essentially junk. Now, Zastava sells new magazines on their website for $25, which is great. But with the flat rate shipping and taxes, it ended up costing me $40. But here it is, brand new. So with the cameras rolling, let's check and see if this stays in. If I can pull this out, this is going to be a very, very short video indeed. Okay. All right, that's locking in. Push that button. Okay. Seems like everything is working just fine. No issues with that. So I'm really glad this works properly, and there's no point in delaying now. So let's go to the range and finish this review. I'm really, really hoping that this performs well. I've wanted one of these for years, so fingers crossed. All right, let's get going. Today's range ammo is a 115 grain New Republic in the green box and a 124 grain MagTech in the blue and white box. I'll be shooting 4 targets today, alternating back and forth between the 115 New Republic and the 124 MagTech to see if there's any noticeable differences or malfunctions. All targets will be at 7 yards. Here we go. Well, this is most likely going to be my worst reviewed firearm on my channel so far. Full disclosure, it's been a couple days since I've been to the range. I sliced my thumb pretty good. It's healed up pretty well here. Here's a picture of what it looked like at the range. So this is the new magazine, and I should have thought of this, but I didn't. As I was loading the bullets into this magazine, my thumb just sliced right here. And it happened a couple of times, actually. I found a different way to load it, but only after I had sliced my thumb open 3 or 4 separate times. So, believe it or not, my thumb actually did swell up a little bit, hence why I'm doing this last part of this video a few days later. So, the main issue. The magazine did hold itself in until I fired. Then it popped out again. And instead of just ending the video there, I adjusted my grip. So normally when I would hold this, I would hold it like so, like this. Okay. As soon as I had pulled that trigger, the magazine came out about that far. So I had to adjust my grip. I decided to put my pinky underneath it like this to hold it in place, which wasn't a huge adjustment to how I hold the gun, but it is an adjustment nonetheless to compensate for a malfunction that should not be happening. And that's not ideal, obviously. If you have smaller hands, you probably couldn't do that. Now, sure, you could just adjust your grip to compensate for this entirely, but why would you? This is a malfunction on the firearm itself. Yeah, and aside from that, like I said, I just kept cutting myself on this damn magazine. This thing is so sharp. I mean, it was a clean slice, so, at least it wasn't a jagged piece of metal that was cutting me open, and it was, a relatively clean slice. But that's not the point. I mean, this thing is sharp. Now on to accuracy. I had a lot of trouble sighting this in. I was aiming at the middle of the target the whole time, but I kept firing top left. I was able to sort of get the hang of this towards the end of the range footage and get closer to the middle, but still, being accurate with this is tough. I'm not sure what else there is to say. I'm really disappointed by this one. Very disappointed. Well, there's 3 things that I consider when doing my ratings on these videos: price, performance, and condition. So with price, the original price of this firearm was $300, which isn't too expensive. If the magazine that came with it didn't malfunction, I'd most likely rate it a 4 out of 5. But the magazine, it obviously malfunctioned, so I had to order another one. And then that one also had a malfunction. Most people who are looking to purchase their first firearm, especially if purchasing from a pawn shop, want a no-frills, easy-to-use firearm that doesn't malfunction. I'm going to have to rate this middle-of-the-road 3 out of 5. $340 isn't terrible, but for $300, you want a gun that won't fail on the first round, even more so at $340. On to performance. 2 out of 5. It didn't jam with any of the rounds, which is great. And it feels very comfortable to hold. But the magazine issue is really holding this firearm back for me. It would be a 1 out of 5 if I didn't order a second magazine. I'm rating it a 2 out of 5 simply because I can shoot it if I need to by adjusting my grip. But again, that's just not ideal. You want to be able to hold the gun comfortably while you shoot it. So on to condition. Well, it's pretty to look at. Very few scratches. It sits really well in your hand. I'm going to have to rate this at a 2 out of 5, though, because of the magazine issue. Visually, condition is 4 out of 5, but functionally, this magazine issue is just awful. And $300 for a gun that spits its magazine out after the first round, well, that's just not good. I haven't decided yet what I'll do with this 9mm. What do you guys think? Should I put more money into it and see if I can't get this issue fixed and then review it again? Or is it just a lost cause? Maybe I just use it as a little showpiece or a conversation piece to talk about its interesting history. What do you think? I'd really love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you think I should do with this. This has been PSP. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.